Good evening, Bubble Boy friends. Good evening, Bubble Boy enemies. I am once again not introing the episode with a highlight, a snippet of the episode to get people engaged. I am once again introing the episode with an apology. I had an episode that I was recording with very funny comedian Sam Ellefson up into a show we were doing together in Cripple Creek, and unfortunately my PodTrack Zoom mobile podcast recorder thing died, much like it did on the episode with Matt Medina. I think the problem is these rechargeable batteries say they're charged and they're not. Either the rechargeable dock doesn't work or these batteries themselves are bunk. So sorry, the environment. No more rechargeable batteries. Sorry, my wallet. No more rechargeable batteries. We're going regular old disposable AA's from now on because this keeps happening. So, yeah, unfortunately, the episode or the interview stopped like 25 minutes in. Very annoyed about that because we had some great conversation, lots of laughs, lots of giggles. And I was especially hoping it would keep recording because I got to recap this show. The show that we did was nuts, and I kind of wanted to talk about it after the fact as well. But once we pulled up to the venue, realized podcast hasn't been recording for the last 45 minutes. So, 30 episodes in. I guess I feel bad. I'm upset at myself because I want to have a very well-produced and professional podcast. And I think 4 episodes in a row I've blown it, production-wise. Because Jocelyn, the microphones weren't working, so I had to do like a boom mic situation that sounded bad. Then me and Matt Medina, the pod thing died. And then with Thad, I blame him in the episode for not turning his microphone on. I think I had his microphone off, and I forgot to turn it on, so that's my bad, Thad. But I do blame you live on the episode. And now this one is 25 minutes of an episode. So afterwards, after the episode, after the part with Sam Ellefson ends, it'll cut for a second, and then I'll be back because I really got to tell you about this show. Maybe one of the worst shows I've ever done in my life. So I got to tell you about it. I got to recap it for you. Listen to me and Sam talk. We have a good time. We're fun. This is not interesting. Okay. Listen to the episode, please. Thank you. Do you get called gay a lot? Here, have a microphone.
Honestly, not that much in that way. Because I didn't really date in high school, there were some people who were like, is Sam gay? But it usually wasn't used very often in my friend group. It was more of the other guys, yeah.
So how I started dating my wife was people in high school thought I was gay.
Mm-hmm.
And so girl who ended up being my girlfriend, then my wife, was like, oh, let's just pretend. I was like, hey, we're friends. Can we pretend to date? That way people stop calling me gay all the time. Also in hopes to lure her in to get her used to calling me babe, saying I love you, sitting on my lap. I was trying to like Pavlov, because that's what boyfriends and girlfriends do. So that's how
How old were you?
15, 16. They're moving over because they're cowards, I bet.
Do they think I'm going fast? Because that's weird. I usually don't go fast.
You're speedy.
I'm speeding.
In your little Mini Cooper you got here?
Compared to the average Colorado driver, I don't feel that I'm going that fast.
No, you're going 45 in a 45.
No,
I think
I'm
you're going
52.
Excuse
you
me.
The actual number here, it'll show up right on my screen.
Oh, big money, Sam.
Here, it's down here. I gotta focus on the road that's curving in front of me.
No.
There it is. Well,
Focus on this.
Now I'm going.
You're going exactly the speed limit. You thought you were big money,
and
Sam.
I thought my lane was ending right there because the lines went away.
No.
So I looked up to merge, and I'm sure this guy in this truck is not happy with me.
Have you
sliding over.
Have you driven this way before?
definitely not.
No?
Nope.
Oh, Sam, now you're from Colorado. Now you live
I've driven
here.
in the mountains, but up near Denver, I don't often drive down to the springs to go into the mountains.
No, this is the worst. It gives you a little seasick. You lose all connection to your phone, so you have to listen to the CDs in your car.
I don't
That's
have a CD
nightmare.
player in my car. That's
Whoa.
how new it is. Yeah. Are we recording right now?
I mean, I hit the button.
Oh, cool. All right. Where did we start?
I think when we were talking about being gay,
Okay.
I think I started recording after anything salacious.
Okay.
I timed it pretty good, I like to think.
Okay.
I just hit record and I don't know if you've ever listened to an episode. It just kind of begins at a certain point.
No, I've been on and I have not listened.
Yeah,
to
it does. There's not really there's not really a beginning. It just kind of starts at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you, Sam? now we're pretending like we're talking to each other for the first time.
Right.
I don't know if you saw the sodas I got us. Probably not going to be great.
What are they?
They're maple syrup root beer.
Both of them?
Yeah.
That sounds really good to me.
You like maple? I think the idea of it sounds good, but I've never had like artificial maple syrup, like a maple syrup jelly bean, or a Dum Dum. Never great.
I can't say I've had a maple syrup jelly bean.
Oh, Sam, you seem like a big part of your childhood was playing Beanboozled. That seems like
I did have boxes of Beanboozled, but I never really played.
No.
No, because that came out when we were in high school.
Yeah.
No, I mean I like Jelly Bellies, but I don't think maple syrup was a part of Beanboozled.
You got maple syrup. You got fart. You got boogers. You got banana split. These were all the Beanboozled flavors, Sam.
So wait, maple syrup was one?
They
I
got
don't think so.
billions of flavors.
No, not in the Beanboozled game, though.
I bet.
The Beanboozled is standardized.
Oh, sorry. There's regulation Beanboozled.
Yes.
For when you're going to state and nationals.
Because they've got it all on the box. Maybe there's like an expansion pack game where they use other flavors.
Yeah.
But
They have DLC.
yeah, they have DLC. But no, I mean, of course, just like every normal American, I have eaten a bag of Jelly Bellies, like a big bag with a lot of flavors.
What's your favorite flavor?
I don't know. I feel like I started combining flavors, and that's when it got good.
Yeah, that's when the devil starts talking to you. That's when you start dabbling.
That's right. Yeah.
That's when you start experimenting with flavors. Start experimenting in college.
I wonder if I like coffee now because I like the beverage of coffee more than when I was a child, obviously. And I hated the coffee Jelly Belly, and it looked so much like the chocolate Jelly Belly.
Great point.
So you're basically Beanboozling before Beanboozle.
Yeah. I never liked coffee growing up, but then my mom would get coffee flavored ice cream, and that slowly and then you start getting some frappuccinos at Starbucks.
That's how you start.
That's how you start dipping your toes in.
Yeah, people say that like weed is a gateway drug. Coffee is you have to wean yourself on with sugary coffee.
Yeah.
To the real stuff. Like it is actually.
No one starts black the same way no one starts with heroin.
I do know some people who
started
tiptoe with
heroin.
With heroin. No, well, I don't think
do
so.
I?
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that my brother just started drinking black coffee because he was military. So he would just. He genuinely just needed the caffeine and didn't care about anything else.
Well, that's what I was like a catering manager at my college when I was like 19.
Wow, that's a lot.
I had to be like at school at 4:30 to start.
Oh.
Like prepping stuff, getting food ready, getting drinks ready, getting like wrapping silverware and that kind of stuff.
Why were you doing that?
I had to make money.
But did it pay well?
I mean, what, $10 an hour?
So
10 years ago?
So no.
No. Oh, actually, I worked at a kitchen. I worked at a diner here in Colorado Springs called Wade's Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was, I think, $10 an hour. And then going to catering manager, I think, paid $11 an hour.
So I felt like a big raise.
Felt like a big raise.
My job in high school, Hutch is still on the federal minimum wage, So I would make $6.25 in 2015. And then when I went to college in Washington, the minimum wage was like $17.50. So I never went home for summer to work because it was literally like a third of what I made being in Washington.
Say what you will about the minimum wage and should you raise it, should it exist, who's to say?
Spoken like a true libertarian.
It did chap my ass when I was making like $12 an hour as like a manager at a place. And then they're like, we just voted in the minimum wage is going to be $15 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I was making like $3 more than the minimum wage. So I asked my boss, I'm like, oh, cool. So when everyone gets $15 an hour, do I get $3 more than minimum wage? Then will I be making $18 an hour? And she says, no, you'll be making the same as everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I did go, well, then why am I going to work here then? If I'm the manager and I'm making the same as everyone else, I will just go work at McDonald's then.
What'd she say?
She was like, ha ha.
And then did you quit?
No.
Okay, well, there's your problem.
I would never. I need the money.
Yeah, but you could have gotten a job, like an easier job.
Yeah, I know.
You could have gotten like some boring work study job.
But then I wouldn't have guest relations manager on my
No, you would.
on my
because
resume.
you were working there for a while, and then you quit and find something else, and it would still be on your resume.
The reason I brought up catering managers because I would drink Dr. Pepper. Drink Dr. Pepper at 4:30 a.m. and the other guys would make fun of me, so I had to start drinking black coffee.
That's like the Diet Coke moms, where they don't drink coffee, they drink Diet Coke in the mornings, and
and I don't want to be that, so I grew.
Yeah.
I evolved.
Uh-huh.
Also, it's why I started eating like hummus, because we would take like
that was an unexpected thing.
Because I needed the energy in the morning.
Hummus.
We would take like hummus.
Does hummus have caffeine?
And tzatziki to like these catering events. And then no one would eat it. So it was leftover and I didn't want to throw it away. So I would just start eating the hummus instead of throwing it in the trash.
What does that have to do with being awake?
That's why. No, that has nothing to do with being awake. That's why I started eating hummus, is because of that catering job.
Oh, I see. Hummus is very good.
Hummus
I don't know.
Is very good.
Yeah. I prefer it with more of a like pita than I do like a hard chip.
No, I like a soft.
Yeah, I think it's got to be soft. Yeah, soft pita.
Yeah, you have soft teeth, notoriously.
Soft teeth?
Yeah, people talk about it in the scene. Like, have you seen Sam and his soft teeth?
No, I haven't heard this. This is news to me. Who's talking shit about my teeth?
Yeah, because they're so, when you talk and you get excited, they start to wobble in the wind. If it gets too...
What is happening right now?
They're gushy. You have gushy soft
gushy?
teeth. Yeah.
What?
Like a couple of jaw...
What... I don't understand what you're saying. If you're making this up, I don't...
Of course.
Yeah,
but say you have soft teeth.
Well, I don't understand why you would make up that I have... People are saying I have soft teeth.
I'm a troublemaker. I'm a little stinker, Sam.
Yeah, but I don't...
We're riffing.
This isn't riffing. This is... blasphemy.
Slander. I'm sorry. Yeah. You have hard teeth, Sam.
I have very large, hard teeth.
I think you could bite through a lot of things.
And I have.
and I will. Damn it.
No, it was just like an insult that's like, well, first of all, you're using sarcasm with the Midwesterner. That's a mistake to start.
Okay.
But also, just like, has soft teeth.
Yeah.
Is such a random thing to say about a person. That
it was hurtful.
It felt so specific that I'm like, this has to be coming from something. This has to be coming from something.
Who's saying this about me? Who was the first person that came to your mind?
Honestly, no one. That's how confused I was.
Okay.
I was like, my wife? Has she been...
She been telling stories out of school?
I don't know, man.
Speaking of teeth, is this one of... I know everything about this show is TBD. Is this one of those we get like a free app with the performance?
I can't remember.
Normally
when you book a show like I've done, you do a few things to make sure it runs well and also you get the most out of it. Like asking if they'll provide you a meal, asking if they can do a stage, a stool, lighting, all of those things. I didn't do that for this. So And sometimes that's fun.
I could have brought my lights.
So, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Well,
here we go.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's part of the fun, though, is people are like, I want all of this to make a good comedy show. And it's like, it's all of those things will make the comedy show better, but not like it won't change how the show goes, if that makes sense, in my opinion.
Having a spotlight makes it look more professional.
Yeah.
But you bombing or not was not reliant on the spotlight being there.
And you might be able to get bigger laughs, your flow might be better or whatever, but you're still people are not gonna choose to laugh or not laugh because of the lighting in general, unless it's a small crowd maybe, I don't know. But my point in all of this is I just like to just show up and be like, what's gonna happen here? Like, it makes it exciting.
Yeah. I think I like doing great shows. It's very fun to do great shows.
Okay, well, this is why this is how you step up your game, Russell.
Well, what I was going to say
is you need to enjoy doing worse shows.
That's literally what I was going to say is I like doing great shows, but there is something tantalizing about, like, this might be really bad, and that's exciting for me.
Yeah, and
to know that you might have to, like, I might have to literally pull down my pants on stage just to get anything going.
Listen,
from these people.
if you do that and it works,
and I bury you with my butt.
No. That is not where I was going with this. If you take off your pants and it works, you were already doing well. If you're bombing,
if I bomb
and you take off your pants, it's not gonna work.
That would be great if you're bombing and then you pull your pants down. Like, okay, now we see where this guy's coming from.
Now we understand and we relate to him.
It all clicks.
Yeah, Cripple Creek is on board.
Have you been to Cripple Creek before?
No, I've never been to this section of the mountains before.
Oh, we're in Woodland Park currently. My brother and I bought a PlayStation 3 in this McDonald's parking lot many moons ago. This very McDonald's, yeah.
What? Why?
We wanted a PlayStation 3,
and
my brother's a year and a half older than me, and he said, "Hey, he can't rape both of us.
Was that his exact?
Yeah, he's like, let's go to. I think he was 6. He had his license. He was 16. I was 14.
That's a very 16-year-old thing to think. Is like, wow, there's 2 children.
Yeah,
now we're safe.
Now we're stronger combined, like Wonder Twins activate. Yeah. No, Woodland Park is fun. They got the donut mill in Woodland Park. What else do we like about Woodland Park? Dinosaur museum. Look.
I can't.
Look
There's
at
in my eyes, and I'm trying to drive an unfamiliar road.
You'll see it on the way back. It'll be nighttime. You'll see it on the way back. I'll tell you to pull over.
No, we're not pulling over. I'm already getting home at midnight. I'm not pushing it later than that.
It is nice that sometimes someone has to drive further than me. That's fun. That's fun for me.
Right, because you live in the Springs, which means that you have to drive for most comedy.
I always get the short end of the stick.
Yeah. I've gotten better to the point where, like, when a show looks bad, I've gotten better at not like doing bad when the show is bad. And so part of that is why not knowing any of this stuff doesn't scare me as much anymore, because like I've grown in confidence of weird shows where it's just like, and I almost have more fun doing them, where you're in a space where it's like, you are not supposed to do well here, and then you figure it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like when I know it's a bad show, I'm more willing to experiment. Whereas, like, if I know it's going to be a good show, he pulled out very slowly.
He very slowly changed 2 lanes out of a left turn lane.
Blowing it. If it's a bad show, I'm more willing to, like, try stuff or experiment or whatever. If it's a good show, I'm so nervous I'm going to blow it that I'm like, I have to be... Like, I put more pressure on myself to be good at a good show.
Yeah.
Whereas if I think it's going to be a bad show... Now, I'm not saying this will be, but if
it could be.
I'm like, I did one where I ordered a Pizookie from stage.
Sure.
I just had
You were at BJ's?
No, it was at a pizza place.
Is this the show Thad runs?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that exact show. They have a crossword puzzle that they leave one of the answers, or word search, where they leave one of the answers off the word search.
Mm-hmm.
And I was furious about it, so I just brought the word search up on stage and started talking about it.
Thad's Pizza show, that was, I had a lot of fun. I did that show.
It was fun. Yeah, I had a great time. He was telling me beforehand, he's like, it always sells out. It's always a great show. And then I got there and he's like, there's maybe 11 people here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 2 of them are about to leave. So I'm like, all right, we're just going to mess around. I did one where I lathered myself up in lube and wore a wrestling mask because I'm like, no one's going to see this anyways. Who cares? There's a lot of fun stuff you could do. Whereas if I'm doing like, I think my best sets are when no one is there and it doesn't matter at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't usually go like outside of myself. I mean, in moments like you're at a restaurant and you're like, oh, this would be interesting. I mean, like I'm gonna try this, or that I think is a little different. But like, were you lubed up and put a mask on?
Yeah.
I usually wouldn't try something that's so just like, I'm going to do something that's wild and try to figure out how, like, I think usually I have more fun simply because I'm looser and like what you're saying, where it's just like you're willing to take things as they come so much more.
Yeah.
Because in a set where you're like, I need to do really well and get as many laughs as possible.
Impress all the bookers in the crowd.
Right. Then you're so much less willing to see where things go. But when just you and I are going to be at a show in Cripple Creek, you can, when something appears, you can try it, and then when it doesn't work, only I can blaspheme you instead of other people in the scene.
Only you can tell the rest of Denver Russell has soft teeth.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to have to do that now after what you did to me.
I'm sorry I got to you. So
I know.
You didn't realize you're driving with a bad boy, crazy person.
I do have more of a thing with my teeth because I had terrible teeth as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, I had really big buck teeth.
Oh.
I got braces. It was fixable.
I had gap teeth, got braces, took the braces off. They did surgery on my mouth to like cut the muscle to make sure that you'll never have a gap in your teeth again. But hey, don't forget wear your retainer. Never wore a retainer. Definitely have a gap in my teeth. The surgery did nothing.
Huh.
Did you wear your retainer?
I wore my retainer for a decent amount. I have a bottom retainer in still, and most of the teeth shifting that is wont to happen is in the bottom. But I also grind, so I wear a grind guard that is essentially a retainer. But I think the reason that teeth things are something that I can be more sensitive about is that when I got before braces, no one was interested in me in middle school. I got braces, and then all of a sudden people thought I was attractive. So it was like, oh, it's just my teeth that are the difference maker.
That's the thing holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not after your braces got off. It as soon as you got braces on.
Yeah, literally the day after I got them on, my gap was half as big. Like everything started coming together, and people were like, "Hey, did you see Sam got?" Like I could hear people talking about me in the hallways, and people who were seen as like the cool kids. A couple of them like started to flirt with me and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, it was my teeth."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The shallowness of the middle school girls in Hutchinson, Minnesota, man.
Did you have a slut season? Did you start making out with a bunch of girls with your braces on?
No. I was raised much to. I mean, it's not even necessarily a Christian thing, but modestly, I guess.
Yeah.
Like my parents made it seem like even in middle school, if I didn't even think about dating someone, it'd have to be somebody I wanted to marry, and it's like, right. I'm 13.
I remember talking to one of my very good friends. He went on a couple dates with a girl. And this is like, we're early 20s. And he's like, I just don't know if I'm ready to like spiritually lead her yet. I was like, dude,
spiritually
just go on some dates. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
Go on a date.
And dog, maybe she needs to spiritually lead you. Come on.
Yeah, something. But it was like such a wild, like, after 2 dates. Like that is like into marriage, like, oh, we need to start thinking about talking about this, whatever we want this relationship to look like. Or as you're starting to get really serious, but 3 dates in, he's like, I don't think I'm ready to lead a woman in her Christly duties. It's like, that sucks. That sucks. That's the way you see the world.
Yeah, and I think that is, so I, similarly to you, because wasn't your wife the first person you dated?
Yes. She was my second girlfriend.
Okay.
But my first girlfriend was for 10 months in 6th grade or something like that.
Okay.
It was like, so she was my first actual serious girlfriend.
Okay, so my wife was, in college, was the first person I seriously dated. I, I forgot about this turn. I had a thing with one girl in high school who we, kissed twice.
You're a bad boy.
I know. But
how passionately?
I was talking about this with my wife because she's like, do you regret the fact that you didn't date other people before me? And I don't.
I regret I didn't date people after you, sweetheart.
I don't regret that, but I think what I do wish is that when I was in high school, it wouldn't have been you need to only date someone if you're thinking about marrying them. And it was I wish I could have just gone on some dates.
Yeah.
And had fun with people and figured out what it meant to date somebody.
Yeah.
You know? Like a normal human being.
Yes, 100%. There's a lot of pressure to this is Wasn't that a riot? Didn't we have a fun time, ladies and gentlemen? Wasn't that fun? That podcast that we all experienced together in its totality. Wasn't that a good time? Man, what to cover? What to fill in the gaps? The Sprecher Maple Syrup Root Beer almost just it tasted exactly like root beer. Tasted little to nothing like maple syrup at all. It was very disappointing. It was still, don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad root beer. It was pretty good root beer, all things considered. But zero maple flavor kick to it, which I'm sure all of you are disheartened and disappointed by. And then, what else did me and Sam talk about? Talked about some jokes that he has that I think are funny. Talked about Bible translations. Talked a lot about Bible translations and how things are translated incorrectly sometimes, or are manipulated in the text sometimes to deliver a different message. So that's fun. Everyone missed out on a conversation about the univocality and consistency and translations of the Bible. So that's you missed out. You missed out. I can't believe you missed out on all that good stuff. Oh, and we talked about milk and cereal quite a bit. We talked about milk and cereal. I think that's most of what you missed. A good chunk of Bible translation talk, and then a lot of milk talk. Sam has stickers that have him with the milk mustache that look like the old, Got Milk with the milk mustache. And I talk about how my hats that say "Not a Cool Guy" are also Got Milk inspired. So, gimmick infringement there. But yeah, Bible talk, milk talk. That was a lot of what you missed out on. But yeah, let me tell you a little bit about this show that we did in Cripple Creek. We were hopeful about it. We were hopeful about the show. The venue had said they had not done stand-up comedy before, but they had done music acts. They had bands there. I saw on Instagram they had a poster there that was like, "Hey, music tonight." So they've done shows there before, just not specifically stand-up comedy. So Sam was like, "I'm not too worried about it because, what do we need? A microphone and speakers? what else is there? And they have shows there all the time in Cripple Creek. It's not the biggest town in the state, so probably gonna be a poppin' show because it's not a big town. People are gonna be there, like, oh, so excited! Oh wow, we never get comedy shows here in Cripple Creek. Thank you so much. The whole town's gonna show up here. That's what we suspected. Sam Ellefson and I, we walk into the venue about 30 minutes before the show starts. Walk into the bar, and it's bustling. It's about 8 o'clock. Show's supposed to start at 8:30, and it's bustling. We can't tell who's there for comedy versus who's just there to eat. That's the problem with a free show in a bar is how many of these people know a comedy show is happening, kind of thing. But so we go up to the bartender, and Sam says, "Hey, we're looking for Jeff, the manager." Bartender says, "Jeff's not here. Jeff's on vacation or something." And he goes, "Oh, okay, well, we're the comedians for tonight." And the bartender says, "What? Huh? What are you talking about?" We're like, "Yeah, we're the entertainment for tonight. We're supposed to do comedy." Bartender says, "Oh, you are? Okay. Well, shoot. Well, I got to get the PA system." So not a great, we walked in, not sure how many people are here for the comedy show. We didn't see any posters about the comedy show. We didn't see any advertisements for the comedy show. They didn't post anything on social media about the comedy show. So we're already like, all right, how many people are actually here to see? Oh, the staff don't even know there's a comedy show? The staff have no idea there's entertainment for tonight? So no one here not one single patron is here for a comedy show, because if the staff of the venue don't know that we're supposed to be here, then there's no way that the audience knows that we're going to be here. So right off the bat, great start. The bartender goes, "Okay, well, normally we have our entertainment in that corner. That's where we put the PA system, but there's people eating at that table right now, so we have to wait for them to finish eating so that they can, so that we can move the table out of the way and hook up the PA system." Okay. All right, we'll wait for them to finish eating so you can move the table out of the way. All right, I guess that's fine. Then, it's like we said, it's still kind of bustling. It's still a busy restaurant, still a busy bar. So then bartender is running food. He's running into the back, grabbing plates of chicken tenders and walking them out to the patrons, which is fine in its own right. But then that table in the corner gets up, leaves. But the staff are running food out, so no one does anything. And then a table of disabled 80-year-olds, they're in canes, they're in walkers, there's no life in their eyes. They come and sit at that table, and then once the bartender realizes someone's already at that table, he's uncomfortable asking these people with walkers and canes to move out of the way. So he then goes to another table with another couple and asks them if they're wrapping up soon. But the place he's putting us now, the original table's just in the corner of the bar. Everyone can kind of see it. Now it's in the middle of the bar, but it's in a window, kind of I don't know, an inlet, or the windows, I don't know, bulge out. I don't know. It's a nook. That's the word I'm looking for. It's in a little nook in the middle, which means you have to step out of the nook and look left and right for everyone to even see you. If you stand in the nook behind the speakers, no one can see you. You have to step out of the nook, which means you have to get in front of the speakers, which means there's going to be a bunch of feedback in the microphone. Anyways, so bad spot, but all right. So we're getting close, 10 minutes out. Guy brings out the speakers, brings out the microphone system. And he goes, hey, do you guys know how to set this up? I'm like, oh, I mean, kinda, yeah. I know how to plug a microphone into a speaker. But, of course, it's a wireless microphone, which means, of course, it has to plug, it has to connect, via radio signal or Bluetooth. It has to connect to, like, the router, the interface, the audio, which then has to then connect to the two speakers. And the guy couldn't figure out how to get the microphone. He figured out how to get the microphone to connect to the interface, but he couldn't get the interface to connect and route to the two speakers. And then he finally got it, but then as he figured it out, he thought he figured it out. The microphones ran out of batteries because that's the problem with wireless microphones. So then he had to go scrounge and find batteries for the microphone. So we started around 9 o'clock. Start a half hour late for a show that people don't know is happening, which I'm realizing now I was so mad the whole time and should have been, continued to be. But I was stressed because, we're supposed to start at 9:30. It's 10 past. Oh, my gosh. No one knew a comedy show was happening, so it doesn't really matter how long it took after. It did not matter. But we started at 9 o'clock. And Cripple Creek, if you don't know, it's like a gambling town, but it's almost exclusively for the elderly. It's almost exclusively for geriatrics, I don't know if I'm using that right, on the way out. This is their Branson, Missouri, okay? It's for old people. So I'm supposed to do 25 minutes. Sam Ellefson is supposed to do 45 minutes. I'm supposed to do an hour 10, an hour 30, just the two of us. And, I'm like, well, I'm going to do my 25. I'm going to do my contractually obligated amount of time. It's going to suck because no one here wants stand-up comedy. But I'm going to do my 25 minutes. I'm contractually obligated. I'm Facebook. I agreed to a message Sam sent me, obligated to do 25 minutes. All right. And I'm gonna try to get them rallied, and maybe some of them will stick around, and we can still have a fun night if I can do my job. So it's 9 o'clock. I have not really factored this into my decision making. So I go for almost half an hour, and I start strong, and I get some people, and okay, people are actually they're getting that a comedy show's happening now. They're engaged. I make some jokes about fentanyl. I guess a lot of them have lost loved ones to this, and they tune out. Not even one or two tables are not I had of the 40 people, 30 people, however much are in there. I had them for the first couple jokes as we're getting going. They kind of liked it. And then I made a joke about fentanyl, and then literally everyone turned their head and just stared at the menu and did not listen to me. Just turned off. It was very strange. I'm wondering if there's a big fentanyl crisis in Cripple Creek, or if someone in Cripple Creek, the mayor, recently died to a fentanyl overdose. Or, there was a baby stabbing from some guy on fentanyl, whatever. Something tragic must have happened because they got very uncomfortable very quickly. I'm I had them, and then working, and it felt like forever. Maybe 7 minutes goes by, and I start talking about my daughter and having a baby, and okay, now they're kind of back. They didn't like but the baby stuff, having a daughter, that's always strong. People always like that. Get them back with the daughter stuff, and I do okay. It was not fun at all, and there was a void of laughter for 7 to 10 minutes, which of a 25-minute set is most of it. So it was bad. It was bad. And people are leaving throughout. I should also mention, people are leaving throughout just because it's 9 o'clock, 9:15, 9:20. They want to go to sleep. They just want to go to bed. And the nook that we are in is right next to the exit for the bar. So people are just leaving, and I'm watching people leave. And it's also interrupting the flow because they're like saying goodbye. They're like, hey, have a great night. Thanks for coming out. And I'm like, okay, I'm mid-sentence. So now you're just watching people not care enough. They're more sleepy than they are entertained. And like, I'm out of here. So you're watching everyone leave. So we went from like maybe 35 people to like by the end of my set, maybe 15 people, maybe 12. So are they leaving because they're having a terrible time because I suck, or are they leaving just because they want to go home and go to bed and it's 9:30 at night already and they're 65 years old? Who's to say? So people are leaving. My last couple of jokes do okay. They do fine. People laugh. And then I go, all right, are you guys ready for your headliner tonight? And everyone looks at me confused. And I go, oh, yeah, there's a whole other guy. It's not just me for 25 minutes. There's a whole other guy here. Are you guys excited for a whole other man to come up here and do more of this? And kind of like a pittance of claps. I go, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Denver, Colorado, he had to drive 3 hours to be here. Please put your hands together for the very funny Sam Ellefson. And so he gets up. And as Sam, gets up, I think one more table goes, all right, I'm not doing a whole other guy, and they leave. So Sam, he ended up doing 35. He didn't end up doing 45. He ended up doing 35. For 25 minutes of that set is to 3 drunk gals at the bar who are hooting and hollering, and the table of old people who booted us from our spot that we were supposed to originally be at. The 60 to 80-year-olds with canes and walkers who were just there to eat a bad spaghetti dinner. So they're the only ones. So that's a table of 5, 3 gals at the bar who are engaged, but they are talking the whole time. Like, oh, that reminds me of my brother. They're like, that's right. Just 3 drunk white women from Colorado Springs. Yeah, just a weird energy in the room. But the 3 gals, they're into it, but I think out of obligation more than anything. They feel like they can't leave. And then these 5 geriatrics who are there, who are just barely staying conscious, just barely staying conscious. There we go. But Sam's doing, they're laughing. They're barely staying conscious, but they're laughing. And the 3 gals, they're laughing. So he's doing the best he can for 8 people in what used to be a room of 40 people. Again, I should have factored in, okay, if it's 9 o'clock and I'm doing 25 minutes and they're not ready for comedy, I got to get all my shit in, and then Sam has to go up after me and just pull teeth from these people for the entire time he was up there because everyone left. And I felt bad. I felt very bad for Sam, but he's a professional. He's doing the thing. 25 minutes in, the elderly, the retiree table leaves. So they're gone. And again, we're at the Nook, so they can. Sam's watching more than half the audience leave in front of his eyes, and they start talking to him as they're leaving, and he's going all right, okay, a little annoyed because all right, I barely want to do this already. I'm not in it to to do a little back and forth hey, whoa, aren't you a spicy old gal? They're hitting on him or something as they're walkering out the door, which also took about 4.5 minutes. So now there's only 3 women in here. They can't leave. They're not allowed to leave or else the show's over. And then 2 drunk guys come in. Now it's 10 o'clock. 2 drunk guys come in and just start talking the entire just start out loud talking and talking to the bartender. The bartender's also talking at full volume to them. So all Sam can do is talk to these three women. They're just getting a private comedy show. Finally, he's wrapping up. He goes, all right, I'm going to do one more joke. We're going to get out of here. Pretend like this didn't happen. And he does one joke. And everyone, the three gals go, aw. Aw. Sam goes, no, don't aw. It's my last. How am I supposed to leave with you awing? How? You have to laugh. You have to laugh at the. I'm going to do one more joke. I'm going to do one more joke. Laugh at it. And then we'll all get out of here. So he does one more joke. And they just stare at him after the punchline. They don't laugh. And they've been, like, participating this whole time. But right at the end, they decided just to no-sell Sam. And he goes, all right, well, you guys aren't gonna give me anything. I guess the only way we're going to end on a laugh or a clap is if I say, give it up for Russell. And then they kind of clapped. And the bartender goes, yeah, everybody, give it up for Russell. Let's clap for Russell. We're going to try to get Russell, his words, he goes, we're going to try to get Russell fucked up tonight. We love Russell. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know what that shout out was for. But, so during the show, I should say, the bartender came up to me. He was like, how much am I supposed to write a check for you guys? And I go, oh, I don't know. Sam is the one who figured all that out. I'll ask him after the show. Sam gets off stage. He walks up to me, and I go, hey, how much is the check for? And he goes, oh, we already got, the manager already, like, Venmo'd me the money. I'll tell the bartender that he doesn't owe us anything. So he goes up to the bartender, and I'm standing right next to him, and goes, hey, man, just so you know, you don't have to pay us. Jeff already paid us. And the bartender goes, oh, okay. You guys are already taken care of? All right, cool. Hey, looks at me. He says, hey, Russell, you did a great job tonight. Just want to let you know you were great. Thank you so much for coming. Russell. And I wasn't sure what was happening, so I was like, oh, yeah, thanks for having us. And the bartender goes, yeah, you were great. Thank you for coming. And then walks away. So me and Sam get our stuff. I foolishly brought merch. The one show I remembered to bring merch to was this one. Grab our stuff and go to Sam's car, and we get in, and Sam goes, what was that? And I go, I don't, like the whole show, or... He goes, no, the bartender. What was that? I'm like, I think he just snubbed you. It was the rudest thing. And then for the hour drive back, Sam's going, what did I do? What did I do to make this guy mad at me? I did my best. I did 35 minutes in front of 8 people. Like, it's not my fault they weren't falling out of their seats, pissing themselves laughing. And also, you guys should have advertised the show. Are you mad at me because more people didn't come? They didn't know the show wasn't going to happen. Like, which I very much empathize with, of just the idea of someone being mad at me, throwing me into a spiral. And I was even talking to him. I was talking to Sam saying, that you're never going to see him again. And what? If the bartender tells the manager, hey, there was a bad show, only 8 people showed up. Hey, who cares? It's not like it's going to affect your career. But also, it's on the owner. The owner's going to go, maybe there's only 8 people there. Maybe I should have advertised it. And I'm saying this going in my head, I'd be so freaked out if I thought a man that I'll never see again didn't like me. It might tattle on me to someone who can't affect my career. That would spaz me. And that's how Sam was. Sam was pretty like, what did I do wrong? I did my best. Why is he mad at me? I didn't do anything. But it very distinctly felt like the bartender looked at Sam, acknowledged him, just like his existence in terms of looking at him, turned away from him to say, you, Russell, you did a good job, which is not fair because I had 35 people there for a little bit, and then it was 30, and then it was 25. Like, it dwindled for sure. It's not like I kept everyone around. I don't know what. I don't think I did good. I think I started doing as well as I can, trying to get some people to notice you who are in a loud, crowded bar, who are not there to watch stand-up comedy. But then I lost them for 60 to 70% of my set, and then I brought them back at the end with a couple closers about my daughter's so wacky. But most of it was bad. So I don't know why he out of his way went to me and was like, "Hey man, you did a good job," and basically like face palmed Sam out of the way. I didn't like it. I felt uncomfortable with it. Sam was hurt and upset. So we drove to Cripple Creek. For me, it's an hour there, an hour back. Sam Ellefson drove, 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back to do 35 minutes. I was going to say painful minutes, but not painful because of him. Sam's very funny. He's very talented. But 35 painful minutes in front of, at one point, 8 people, which then dwindled to 3, which then became 5, 2 of which the two drunk guys that came in were like also almost adversarial. Like, they weren't heckling or anything, but Sam would tell a joke that made one of them laugh, and the other one would like elbow or shoulder the other one to be like, knock it off. Like, if another man makes you laugh, that's gay. You knock it off. Stop laughing. Stop being gay. That was the energy they brought in. They sucked. And yeah, so it was, not quote unquote, it was worth it-ish. I mean, they paid us well. That's another crazy thing. They gave us like not a small chunk of change to do this. Why not advertise it? You're just throwing money away. You hate money? I don't get it. So for me, it's like, all right, I made $150 for a 2-hour drive and a bad show. Still, not too shabby. I'll take it. I don't know how much money Sam made. Hopefully it was a nice chunk of change. But he had to drive 2.5 hours for maybe one of the worst shows of his career. Bottom 5, I'd imagine, if not the worst one, to then be stuffed, to be cast aside by a rude bartender in Cripple Creek, to then drive 2.5 hours back. I think Sam got home at tomorrow. I think he got home at like 12:30. What a nightmare. What an absolute nightmare of a show. Sold 0 hats, if you'd surprised. I don't know if Sam sold any stickers. Something tells me he didn't sell any stickers. Oh, and I did. Okay, there was at one point, after I got off and Sam got on stage, I told you there was like one table that went, there's a whole other guy, we're out of here. That table came up to me, and a woman gave me $5. She gave me a $5 bill, gave me a $5 tip. Wow, thank you. And said, "Hey, El Paso County Sheriff's Department, it's been a hell of a week." Slipped me $5 and then left. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Woman walked up to me, El Paso County Sheriff's Department, it's been a hell of a week, and then gave me $5. Oh, maybe because of the fentanyl thing. Maybe a bunch of people died of fentanyl. Maybe that was what the hush fell over the crowd, and maybe she felt bad for me. Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, so I got a $5 tip out of it. And Sam was bullied by a balding bartender in Cripple Creek, Colorado. So bad night for both of us, worst night for him. I pray for him. I pray for Sam's mental health after this show. I really hope he can come back from this. But that's the show. It was one of the worst shows I've ever done. I will make sure, for the love of God, next episode, both microphones will be on, and it will record the entire episode. Hell, there might be video on top of that bad boy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had said this already. Deeply apologize. This is not how you get new fans to have 4 episodes in a row that you blew it on, production-wise, in a row, 30 episodes deep. That's not how you grow the audience. So I would tell you to tell your friends about the podcast. I'd tell you to share the episodes. If you do that, start them early. Start around episode 10 or something. Then start showing and be like, oh, yeah, that way it gives me time to catch up and get some good quality episodes out there. That by the time they get to the last 4, they're like, oh, that's good. But then it picks back up. So this will just be a temporary setback, a temporary lull. So if you're going to share the podcast, if you're going to tell people about it, show them the early episodes, buy me some time, or wait like a month and a half, then be like, hey, my friend's got this cool podcast. I would appreciate that. That's it for me. Okay, bye.